One of David Hume's best and most important economic essays is his piece on rates of interest. Appropriately, it's called Of Interest, and you can Google to that online. This is the middle of the 18th century, and a lot of mercantilist ideas are still quite strong. One doctrine of some of the mercantilists was that the way to get a lower rate of interest was to have a high money supply, or to have a supply of specie rushing into your country from a favorable balance of trade. Hume was determined to show that this doctrine was basically false. Hume argued extremely clearly that a higher money supply simply meant higher prices and higher wages, and that in the new equilibrium, with the higher money supply, the higher prices, and the higher wages, well, the rate of interest would be exactly the same from where you started off. This is one of the earliest, clearest, and best statements of what modern economists now call monetary neutrality. There's a classic passage in this essay where Hume asks a famous question: what if £5, 5 British pounds that is, were slipped into the pocket of every man, Hume suggesting that that would basically double the money supply, and Hume explains how individuals would spend this extra money, prices would rise, we would end up in an equilibrium with higher prices and wages, but real economic variables essentially would be the same. This is a very clear statement of some important parts of the quantity theory of money. These passages are so clear and really so correct, you still could teach from them today. Hume then asks the question, well, if an increased money supply doesn't lead to lower rates of interest, what does? And he cites three main factors. One is a small demand for borrowing, the second is great riches to supply that demand for borrowing, and the third is small profits arising from commerce. These are all, of course, real factors based in supply and demand. Hume is now moving toward his crowning point. He's telling us that extensive commerce will bring opulence and wealth and a lot of capital, and all of that means low interest rates because there'll be a high supply of capital to meet the demand for capital. So insofar as we're attracted by the mercantilist desire for low interest rates, what we should favor is not mercantilist policy and not inflation, but we should favor policies directed toward what Hume's friend Adam Smith was later to call the wealth of nations. This is really a classic essay by David Hume. It's one of the most exact, penetrating, readable, and to-the-point economic essays from the entire 18th century.